Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on the time you'll be watching this session. Welcome to the News Super Review for the 19th of January 2024. So I am Ayo and I'll be reviewing with you today. Today I have quite a number of headlines to be reviewed with you. But before I proceed into all that we have for you today, let's go on a quick break and I'll be right back. Welcome back to the News Super Review for the 19th of January 2024. Today I have quite a number of headlines to be reviewed with you today, and we'll be taking the first one from The Punch. And the first headline from The Punch says, Court allows Emefiele to travel out of Abuja. Very quickly, let's look at the news in details. The Federal Capital Territory High Court has granted the request of the former governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, to travel out of Abuja. Emefiele, through his lawyer Matthew Buka San, had requested for a variation of the terms in his bail conditions. On November 22nd, 2023, Justice Hamza Muazu of FCT High Court granted Emefiele bail in the sum of 300 million with two sureties in like sum. Justice Muazu added that the sureties must have landed property in Maitama district of the FCT. The judge also ordered the former CBN governor not to leave the court's jurisdiction and directed him to deposit all his travel documents with the court. At the proceedings on Thursday, Buka urged the court to grant the prayers of his client. He assured the court that Emefiele would not jump bail if the restriction was lifted. Buka added that the defendant's traveling documents are with the court, adding that given the status of the defendant, he won't jump bail. The Counsel for Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Rotimi Oyedepo-San, did not object. Considering all the allegations on Emefiele, I actually do not think it is necessary for them to grant him access to leave the vicinity. Why? If for now he has been granted access to leave Abuja, what is the tendency that he's not going to leave the country? What is the tendency that he will not leave the country without coming back? There are things that we need to think twice before making decisions. Yes, his traveling document could have been with the bank, but we've seen instances where they can actually tell them, they can actually lie that the traveling documents were misplaced and they will be given access to leave the country, and that will be all. I just hope that this is not a ploy for Emefiele to leave the country, and this will take me to the next headline for today. And the next headline, still from The Punch, says, Scandals that rocked Nigerian universities. Top scandals that rocked Nigerian university. Very quickly, let's look at the news in details. In recent years, sexual misconduct has become a pervasive issue in Nigerian universities, with numerous cases of sexual harassment and assault coming to light. These scandals have rocked the academic community, leading to the dismissal of lecturers, suspensions, and even jail terms. From high-profile cases to more recent incidents, these scandals have highlighted the need for stricter measures to be taken against sexual misconduct in Nigerian universities. Very quickly, let's explore some of the issues that has been happening in the Nigerian universities, some sex scandals from different years. Very quickly, let's look at them briefly. The first was that of Unical Professor Cyril Ndifon in 2022. About 50 female law students protested against the then Dean of the Faculty of Law, University of Calabar, Professor Cyril Ndifon, for allegations of high-handedness and sexual harassment. The students demanded the removal of the dean and justice for the victims. the Vice Chancellor, Prof. Florence Obi, issued in the phone a query and subsequently suspended him for alleged violation of the institution's laws and policies. This is actually a good measure taken at least to stop sex scandals in university, and I'm really impressed by what the Vice Chancellor did. In this part of the world, if consequences are not attached to every bad act or every action or every misconduct done in the country, if consequences are not attached to it, it will give people the confidence that they can actually continue in this act without anybody or any law catching up on them. Very quickly, let's look at other instances and some of the measures that were taken. So there is another of that of a Unilaccess grade for a Unilaccess for grade scandal in 2019. A senior lecturer at UNILAG, Dr. Samuel Omoniyi Oladipo and Dr. Boniface Igbenegu were exposed by a BBC report for demanding sex from an undercover reporter posing as an admission-seeking student. Both lecturers were dismissed from the university following an investigation by the Senate committee. Another was that of a student from OAU, Richard Akindele's sexual harassment case in 2018. Richard Akindele, a professor at Obafemi Awolowo University, was sentenced to a 2-year jail term for sexual harassment. He pleaded guilty to 4 counts filed against him by the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission. The allegations were made by a female student, Monica Osage, and Justice Maureen Oyeteno convicted Akindele. Another was that of a case of Olabisi Olaleye at OAU in 2020. In yet another sex for grade scandal at Obafemi Awolowo University, a lecturer, Olabisi Olaleye, demanded sexual favors from a 400-level student of the Department of International Relations, Faculty of Administration. The university set up a panel to investigate the matter as hard evidence was brought forward against him, excluding voice recordings of is sickening demands. There is another of the Michael Okpara University of Agriculture bribery scandal in 2023. Students lamented the non-release of results 8 months after exams, as lecturers allegedly demanded bribes in cash or kind. The lecturer was said to ask for between 10,000 naira and 20,000 naira or sexual favors for students to view results. In response, the institution doled out disciplinary actions, including suspension, sack, and jail terms to some of the lecturers. There are many more other instances that can be mentioned here, but I would like that we learn one or two things. Students especially should learn 1 or 2 things from all of this. The first thing that the student did was to raise an alarm. If you do not raise an alarm why a lecturer want to sexually harass you or is demanding huge amount of money for you for grades or for your result to be released, it means that you are also a perpetrator of the evil. It means that you are also enjoying the ways in which lecturers are abusing students. And to even think that most of the people that have been affected by this incident are the females. If you have experienced an issue like this, or you are currently undergoing issues like this in your school, regardless of anywhere in the world that this is ongoing, you should learn to open up. It is when you open up that people will be willing to help you. Open up to show that you need help. And by the time you open up, you get to see people that will pick up the case. Do not be afraid of anybody. Do not be afraid of whatever threat they are using against you. Do not be afraid of whatever it is that will be at stake. Remember, you matter. And this will lead us to the next headline for today. And the next headline is taken also from The Punch. Police to pay 50 million naira for arresting Abiola's widow in nightgown. The Federal Capital Territory High Court in Gudu, Abuja on Thursday ordered the Inspector General of Police to pay 50 million naira charges. 50 million naira damages to the widow of the late Chief MKO Abiola, Professor Zainab Abiola, for violating her fundamental right by arresting and parading her while wearing only a nightgown. The court, in the judgment that was delivered by Justice Modupe Osho Adebi, also ordered the police to apologize to her in 2 national newspapers. Abiola had filed a fundamental human rights enforcement suit marked FCT HCCV 2431-2023 against the IG. The Nigerian Police Force, Inspector Teju Moses and Engineer Ibrahim, son of former IGP Usman Alkali Baba, as co-defendant. She alleged that police officers in 2022 invaded her residence in Abuja and arrested her while she was wearing a nightgown and whisked her to the station. She told the court that she was detained and tortured for 3 days without trial. However, the respondent, while urging the court to dismiss the suit, claimed that they did not know her, insisting that the allegation she raised in the suit was false. In the certified through copy of the judgment cited by our correspondent on Thursday, Justice Osho Adebi held that the detention of Abiola by the defendant without arraigning her in a court of competent jurisdiction was a gross violation of her right to personal liberty. Now, this leads me to the question, what does she do? When did this allegation took place? When did this arrest took place? Why was she arrested? Why is she just raising the issue now? So in 2022, Madam Zainab Professor Zainab was arrested for brutalizing her orderly. On the social media in around January, February 2022, the video of one of Professor Zainab's orderly was all over the internet, that she brutalized one of her orderly while the orderly had her face bruised. And in reinforcement, the police arrested Madam Zainab. Now, the issue was taken to the court then, and the commissioner then was asked to file to plead to Madam Zainab in a newspaper, in 2 newspapers like that. And I think the issue was swept under the carpet. And another part of the issue is being raised now, that Madam Zainab is demanding for a sum of 50 million naira as probably a compensation, probably do not be annoyed money for what was done to her by the cops. So the Federal Territory High Court in Gudu, Abuja on Thursday ordered that the Inspector General of Police pay 50 million naira for damages to the widow of the late Chief MKO Abiola. Now, my question is, she was arrested in a nightgown. Was she arrested naked? And what is the damages for? Is the damages for to apologize to the orderly that was brutalized, the orderly that was abused, or the damages was for the nightgown that was seen by third parties? There are things that happen in this country that I try to understand why they are happening. Yes, it is quite understandable that our fundamental human right was abused, but the fact remains that she wasn't arrested naked. We have seen cases of people, of soldiers brutalizing civilians. They will beat them blue black, stack them naked. Some of these things, we don't get to see them on social media. Yet, we don't get to see civilians going about demanding for money for damages that was caused to their human rights, that was caused on their body, that was caused on I don't understand. 50 million naira. So the commissioner will be the one to pay this money, or is it the federal government that will pay this money, or this money is coming from the pocket of the commissioner? We need to be sensitive to some things that happen in this country that are not even supposed to be happening. And this will take us to the next news for today. So we'll have a video clip from Arise News that will be displayed to you on the screen now. And the headline simply says 222 repentant thugs has been recruited into the police force. So very quickly, let's watch the clip, and I'll come back to review with you.
About 3 months ago, the Kano State Police Command invited some identified individuals believed to be behind the escalation of thuggery and other heinous crimes in the state for dialogue. The meeting yielded a positive response as some of the thugs embraced the initiative. Among the 222 repentant thugs, 50 of them drawn from Dala, Fege, Ungogo, Kano Municipal, and Gwale local government area of the state, having completed a 2-month intake training as members of the Nigerian Police Special Constabulary, were decorated. They pledged to promote peace in the state and promise not to go back into thuggery.
I
am among the 50 people who were trained and absorbed into the Nigerian police force, and I am prepared to play my part to ensure that Kano is peaceful. We will go around the state and continue to preach peace to the people so as to keep the state safe.
While welcoming the repentant thugs into the society, the Commissioner of Police, CP Mohammed Gumel, debunked reports making round that the police is recruiting thugs as its personnel. He says the amnesty initiative is only aimed at sustaining peace in the state.
As of today, the police command has received a total of 222 influential youth and are committed to crime prevention duties with the police to fish out violent criminals among them, notorious thugs popularly known as Ndaba, who over the years engaged in supremacy conflict, Padandaba as we call it.
The governor of the state, Abba Yusuf, who gave a rosy welcome to the repentant thugs, urged them to be good ambassadors of the state.
From the day they surrendered, they have been subjected to series of reformatory process. They have undergone lectures from psychologists and other experts in human behaviorism. And by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are going to give them all the necessary encouragement.
But the move has generated uproar online as some of the repentant thugs, who is said to be a notorious criminal, recently declared wanted by the police. Nasir Abdullahi, popularly known as Chile Midoki, is among the new recruits. Some critics kicked against his inclusion and denounced the entire amnesty program. But while defending the move by Kano State, the police force spokesman, Muiwa Adejobi, said, and I quote, "They are not policemen, I was told, and it has been in the news that they are repentant individuals who have been mobilized into the constabulary scheme of Kano State. The constabulary scheme is not police, but a community-based initiative. With the integration of these 222 repentant thugs into the society, residents of Kano hoped that the amnesty program will address the incessant crimes in the state." Ayo Adinaye.
Welcome back. Okay, you got the gist, right? 222 repentant thugs has been recruited into the police force. So my question is, who are repentant thugs? Repentant thugs are thugs that they've decided that what they were doing was once very bad, and they decided to use that same energy to serve the community. So my question is, all these people will not be a potential threat to the security service of the Federation. If they will not be a potential threat, it is not a problem. But it is so unfortunate that Muyiwa Adejobi, the police public relations officer, said they were not recruited into the force. So if they were not recruited into the force, why are they on police uniform? Is the police uniform just to show that they will be doing something related to the work of the force or something? They were on police uniform. And to even think that the governor of Kano State came to address them on the day they were recruited. So why is the police public relations officer saying they were not recruited into the force? According to him, he said it was just a community constabulary scheme. A community constabulary scheme to bring the mind of repentant folks back to the people. So probably they will do the work of an evangelist. They will tell people to stop being a tool in the hand of politicians that are using them to ruin the community. So this will take us to the last headline that we have here to be reviewed with you today. And the last headline is taken from Vanguard, and it says, impact of fuel subsidy removal to Nigerians. Let's look at the news in details. Impact of fuel subsidy removal tough on Nigerians, says Tinubu. President Bola Tinubu yesterday acknowledged that the impact of the removal of the fuel subsidy was very tough on Nigerians and has affected every sector of the economy, including education, but assured that the future remained bright. Tinubu, who is a visitor to the University of Lagos, UNILAG, spoke at the 54th convocation ceremony of the university. The president spoke as Catholic bishops of the Owerri ecclesiastical province lamented that the removal of the petroleum subsidy, current naira scarcity, and declining value of the nation's currency had raised the cost of living, created dismay and panic among the citizenry. The bishop also urged improved security and kicked against the blessing of homosexual or same-sex marriages. This is even as the Career Council yesterday tasked the president to expedite action to cushion the hard economic decision made by his government, in addition to tackling insecurity headlong. Tinubu was represented by the Minister of Education, Prof. Tahir Mamman San, said the impact could be seen in the high cost of living that has affected parents, guardians, students, and other Nigerians. So our president has acknowledged the fact that the increase, the impact of fuel subsidy is tough on all Nigerians. He has acknowledged it. But the fact that he acknowledged it does not mean he can feel what Nigerians are feeling. No, it is easy for people to talk about things when they are not experiencing it. It is easy for people to give unsolicited advice when they are not the one that is feeling the heat. So we have hope, he said, regardless of the fuel subsidy in the country, the future of the country remains bright. He alone knows the reason he has said that, and we will keep our fingers crossed to know the future of this country. Remember, the future of this country is in the hand of you and I. You should not sit back and relax, waiting for what somebody has said, that the future remains bright, and you will sit back, relax, without doing anything. Remember, the change that we are craving for is in this country is in the hand of you and I. And until we take it personal, nothing will ever change. And this will bring us to the end of the newspaper review for the 19th of January 2024. Thank you so much for staying through with us. Before I leave this place, I would like that you follow us on all our social media platforms, on Facebook and on Instagram. We go by Prime Media TV. Please do well to like and follow our page. At the same time, you can follow us on our website to get back-to-back access to all that we do at Prime Media Studio. At the same time, you can follow us on YouTube at enginespeak.com. Also, we have an online mall where you can shop for all your appliances, whether electronic appliances, home appliances, fashion, bags, accessories, anything at all that you want to shop. Visit us at remy.com.ng to get unlimited access to all that we sell on that platform. Remember, you can apply as a seller. You can also apply as a buyer. For now, I will leave you to have a good day. Remember, I go by Ayo, and I'll be here with you in our next review. Thank you so much.